Welcome to Top of the Parlors. We've got dreams, laughs, tears, and sighs. Open your ears and eyes for the new Top 5. Creeping in at the edges, can you imagine Roseanne as a Playboy bunny? Ace American military advisor lays out what's likely to happen when the dust settles in Iran. Rattling impatient at the bottom of the podium, master of his domain Larry David lets us in on his lack of writing secrets. A blistering account at number 2 as the evergreen story gets a new airing for 26 and hitting a homer at number 1. Stand By Me's Vern Tessio tells Bill Maher where the body is buried. But first, let's get into it with Michael Malice quizzing TV's Roseanne Barr on her comedy Foremothers.
Is there a lot of times people who are a generation before resent how it's easier for the people who they paved the path for? So was there like some tension with you and Phyllis Diller? Because she paved the road for you.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. So, but does she like kind of, was she nice?
No, she was mean at first.
Was she really?
Yeah, they were all mean at first, the women.
Wow. Like, let's hear this.
Well, I was in this contest at the Playboy Mansion for the some kind of
Best
weird
body? Best
playmate.
No, most unfuckable.
You're so not funny.
Like, why is Jake laughing?
Sorry.
Because he's not funny either. But
It's true.
But they made me a bunny costume. The guy's name was, oh, God.
Jim Henson?
No. Oh,
Noah?
no. That's a good one. And it was celebrity judges. And, you know, they hold up a card, like 8. Everyone gave me a 10, and Phyllis gave me a 0.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did. And I was like,
Oh.
that whore.
Real?
And-
That is mean.
Yeah, so, you know, but I still won.
Sure. Who were the other women you said were mean at first?
Oh, my God, all of them.
Well, give us some examples.
Oh, my God, why should I?
Meryl Streep, what about her?
She was nice.
Okay.
She was always nice, even
She was always nice to me, yeah. A real sweet lady.
Okay.
And, of course, I was a leftist at the time.
Right.
And, you know, so I got along with all the leftists there.
Okay.
But now when I watch the shit she says, I'm, like, ready to go just slap her down. I mean, verbally.
Well, she defended Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah,
she said we
and
didn't
the
know.
other one, Polanski.
Did she really?
Give him a standing ovation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
At the
like, oh
Oscars.
my God. I'll every time I see those people, I'm like, thank God I moved my kids out of there
Holy
some
crap.
25 years ago.
I don't understand. People watching this have pressure in their life. I don't think any of us can wrap our heads around what it's like to have the pressure of having the #1 show and staying at #1. That just seems like torture.
Yeah.
Like, it's yeah, you're making a lot of money and you're famous, but like, that's
There
sort
goes
of
your nervous system.
Right, right.
There goes your family.
Right.
There goes, you know,
your
everything
money,
but the
there
show.
Goes, there goes your money to Tom Arnold.
yeah, yeah. You know, trying to balance it was impossible.
Yeah.
It's in the eye of a hurricane.
Yeah, yeah.
I tried to have a safe place, a partner, but, you know, that was all impossible, too.
Right.
It was pretty much a hurricane that
Jesus.
never stopped.
Right.
But whatever, just keep going. Because it was like, it was mine.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was committed to it. And I loved it. I love, you know, the writing jokes and making stuff funny. That was it. Right?
Admirable attitude. Now let's get a sharp insight into the recent Iran situation. From top White House advisor Robert Pape. What will happen when the regime is finally mullered?
Then what happens as time goes on, I end up advising every White House from 2001 to 2024, including the first Trump White House.
I also heard that you've been running simulations on a war with Iran.
Yeah, the last class of every strategy for 20 years. In fact, we did it just last May, just before we started the bombing. We really go through the bombing of Natanz, Fordow, Esfahan. There's a number of these facilities and so forth. And then we look at what's going to happen. And what you see right away is 90+%, those B-2s are going to destroy those targets. Okay?
B-2s being the aircraft.
These stealthy aircraft that can penetrate the airspace, very small risk of loss. And then you see, but we don't know where the nuclear material is. The whole point of this is not to destroy a building. It's to get at the 5%, 20%, 60% enriched uranium that's the material for bombs. And last May, it was very clear they had the material for 16 bombs. Now, not
60 nuclear bombs.
16.
Nuclear bombs.
Yes, nuclear bombs, not to produce them all in a single week, but over a period of months. And then after we did that simulation, we didn't know where a single ounce was. And we weren't going to know for months after. So at the end of I make some predictions. I say, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is after about a year, we are going to panic because that material could be dispersed anywhere in Iran, anywhere in that country. And that country, look how big that is compared to the United States, could be dispersed anywhere now. And how many of those are actually developing toward a bomb? We will not know. So what will we do? Regime change. As the war expands, it will go global.
Really?
You are already seeing it global with the supply chain, and you're seeing it with the oil. So that's already happening.
If oil doesn't go through this Strait of Hormuz, what happens?
Yeah, well, we can talk about it in like technical terms, but the big thing to say is this is what's going to increase the price of gas at the pump. And it's already gone up. When you cut the flow of the oil, it has global effects. You see, when the oil is cut, the inflation goes up, the affordability becomes a problem. That is what is panicking a lot of the businesses right now because they're going to lose business. And it's a problem of risk. It's not just about the damage. So a few of these drones can have an inordinate effect on risk. Now, let's bring in another piece, which is Russia, we find out, is providing targeting intelligence to Iran, much the way we provide targeting intelligence to Ukraine to hit targets in Russia. And what does that mean? That means those drones, which are precision guided, now can more easily find exactly which ship to hit. So
Do we know that Russia are doing that?
We've got it pretty well confirmed from, you would hear much more pushback here. And what you're hearing from Secretary Hegseth is it's not happening. You're saying, oh no, well, let's not over worry. No, it's happening and they're worried because that's again, the dancing around. They're not denying the fact that it's actually happening. So this is the tension in the politics that I'm trying to explain, which is why you don't really want to start the trap in the first place.
What exactly is it that causes Seinfeld to be the best situation comedy ever filmed? Let's watch master impressionist Elon Gold get to the nuggets.
And starts to drink your milkshake.
People can steal impressions easily, right?
Not only, that is
People
the bane of people have stolen my impressions and it makes me crazy.
Yeah.
Because impressions are observations of people that you are studying.
Yeah.
And if you have the hook and you figure out the observation and then you take that, that's stealing.
Well, they're much easier to do when someone else does it, right?
Of course, because now you figured it out. What is the essence? What is the voice?
Exactly. You're stealing what someone's doing.
And that's why I don't do impressions that everyone does.
Yeah.
Because it's boring.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm glad you're all in a good mood tonight. Would you please welcome Mr. Larry David?
I gotta hear the story.
I don't know how you do that. It's kind of cheating.
Yeah, no, it's cheating.
Yeah,
it's like a prop. It's a prop. It's a magic trick.
Yeah.
It's wow. How does he do that?
Yeah, it's cheating because you could really say anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to come up with anything clever. Yeah.
You do, though.
I mean, it's better if you do.
It's better if
but
you
it's
do.
still, but I'm laughing as soon as I hear the voice, so it doesn't matter.
Right, but that's rare. Most audiences want the joke too. Anyway, every observation you have with every bit you think of, and then you put it together and it somehow dovetails, and then you have a storyline, and then the bits are strung on the story. It's a puzzle. Is comedy a puzzle?
For those, yeah, for Seinfeld and Curb, it was putting a puzzle together, yeah. Because I didn't know how to write anything, and so, okay, if I had an idea, I'd write the first scene and maybe the second scene, and then I thought, gee, where's this going? I'm stuck. And so actually what happened was on Seinfeld, I wrote this show called The Busboy, and just by accident, it just happened that the end of the story, this Elaine story, where this guy came in for the weekend and she didn't like him and wanted him to go back. And the busboy, because of Jerry and George, a fire started and he got fired. Somehow at the end of the show, that story, the busboy and Elaine's boyfriend met in the hall off camera and had a fight.
Hey, watch where you're going. You almost knocked my head off.
Hey, why don't you watch where you're going, okay? Because you bumped into me.
Who do you think you're talking to, pal?
Hey! Get your hands off me!
You go to hell!
Mira, canto cabrón! Vete tú, carajo! Porque te paso! No me toques!
And I remember after writing that, I thought, oh, I kind of like that. I kind of like how those two stories
Dovetail.
Wow. Exactly. And so that set it off, really. That and the fact that I wanted the actors to be happy, and I wanted them to have a lot to do on the show, because there's nothing worse than an actor with nothing to do that week. And then I just started to write it in a way where I had the stories. I would deliberately set out to combine these stories.
But it's amazing that because you couldn't write, you became a revolutionary writer. You started a new way of speaking on TV. Nobody spoke the way the cast of Seinfeld, that dialogue was. Because you couldn't write, you figured all that out. The dovetail. I always say that you don't care if there's a coincidence, like on a Curb episode, where now this. You don't care that some coincidences are ridiculous.
I don't. Yeah, of course I do. I don't love them.
Oh, you'd rather.
Are you accusing me of being
the opposite? I'm saying
coincidence user?
No. I'm saying when you write a coincidence that's too convenient.
It's not like people set out to do that.
No, you don't. It's
there's 1,000 stories.
Yeah, no, it's a failure.
1,000 stories per.
It's a failure.
I feel like I'm being really insulted.
No,
here.
it's the opposite. It's a compliment. And what I'm saying is, the show is it's a delicacy to watch. Okay, it's a delicacy that must be savored. And you're like, do you want this dish that I made? Because I'm a Michelin star chef. Well, there are going to be a few coincidences that this goes with that and that goes with that. Enjoy it. That's what I think you're thinking when you go,
you're wrong.
Let's just put this together. But apparently I've been wrong all these years. You care. You're actually not happy with your own coincidences.
Honestly, I don't love them.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating.
I don't love a coincidence.
Uh-huh. But it works.
But they do happen in life.
Well, I didn't want her to have an accident.
What accident?
Well, after he heckled Toby, she got so upset she ran out of the building and a street sweeper ran over her foot and severed her pinky toe.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, then after the ambulance left, I found the toe. So I put it in a Cracker Jack box, filled it with ice, and took off for the hospital.
What? You ran?
No, I jumped on the bus. I told the driver, I got a toe here, buddy. Step on it.
Holy cow!
Yeah. Then, all of a sudden, this guy pulls out a gun. Well, I knew any delay's gonna cost her pinky toe, so I got out of the seat and I started walking towards him. He says, where do you think you're going, Cracker Jack? I says, well, I got a little prize for you, buddy. Yeah! Knocked him out cold.
How could you do that?
Yeah, then everybody is screaming because the driver, he's passed out because of all the commotion. The bus is out of control. So I grab him by the collar, I take him out of the seat, I get behind the wheel, now I'm driving the bus.
You're Batman.
Yeah, I am Batman. Then the mugger, he comes to and he starts choking me. So I'm fighting him off with one hand and I kept driving the bus with the other, you know? Then I managed to open up the door and I kicked him out the door, you know, with my foot, you know, at the next stop.
You kept making all the stops?
Well, people kept ringing the bell.
Fantastic. Thanks, Larry. Soup for you. Now put on your shutterproof vest. It's time for Lord of the Flies, American campus style.
Evergreen is the most liberal college in the country. It was founded by a group of radicals at the very beginning of the 70s, and they threw out every single structure that a normal university or college would have. There were no departments, there were no grades, the administration did not outrank the faculty did not have rank within it. Nothing from a normal university or college was familiar. Now, that was both brilliant and flawed. The people who took teaching seriously took that freedom and they did amazing things with it that you couldn't do anywhere else. The people who weren't imaginative or were lazy abused that freedom, and they taught things that could waste a full year of your time. So you had to know what classes to take. The problem was the hiring of the new president. He had aspirations to totally re-envision the college in a much more standard way. But he didn't have the power to do it because the faculty had been empowered by the founders to block an administrator. There was sort of this natural suspicion of administrators, and so the faculty would have blocked him outright. So what he did is cynically initiate a kind of race war. He impaneled a committee that he empowered to re-envision the college and proposed that these changes were necessary to address the rampant problem of white supremacy that absolutely did not exist at the college, but they claimed it did. In any case, I started to oppose the changes, and I got targeted effectively as public enemy number one. Now, that took place at the level of the faculty. It was not initially involving students. But some of the faculty who were interested in these changes because they had been promised an elevation in their power essentially sent students to portray me, straight white guy, as a racist, and to do so publicly and spectacularly. And in 2017, the thought was no straight white professor is going to be able to stare down students accusing him of racism. People are going to look at that. They're going to assume there's something to it, and either the guy buckles or he's out. May 23rd, 2017 at 9:30 in the morning, 50 students, not one of whom had I ever met, stormed into my classroom and started leveling accusations of racism, demanding an apology from me or my resignation. And I tried to reason with them.
Day of absence has been here longer than I have. I have never protested it until the idea. Until
they make white people white people. Exactly. Because you got mad and told white and white students, hey, they got to protest. Keep your fucking ass here.
No.
Yes, we did. We have the emails.
First of all,
we got it from Michigan.
Would you like to hear the answer or not?
No.
My job at the time was to take confused college students and unconfuse them. That was literally what I was paid by the state to do.
Right.
And so I started trying to reason with them, and that enraged them.
We come here as students against campus racism and against anti-blackness on campus. And we would like to reach out to the students of color, the humanities, as well as the sciences that we are here to support. And we want to dismantle anti-blackness and confine. We want to give some sense of solidarity and provide safety and outcome.
Will you listen to me? I'm not an unreasonable person. I'm not uninterested. I'm not uninformed about history. I know the implications of these things. I have arrived where I've arrived from a different route. I've arrived there your academic study. I know why racism happens.
We lived racism. We don't have to study it to understand it.
I
We live it every
And the
day.
issue is you think scientific proves everything. What about all the racist scientific
You're
theories
trying
they
to
had about
dismantle
black people
programs
so
for
lies?
us.
Explain that with your scientific. No.
It is not your
Listen, you're gonna listen.
You asked me a question. I would like to answer.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Brett Weinstein's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Brett Weinstein's got to go.
Chanting, hey, hey, ho, ho, Brett Weinstein's got to go, right? It was bizarre. Very quickly, it went from being an irate protest to a riot and a takeover of the campus. The president who had initiated this literally withdrew the police. He ordered them to lock themselves into their police station, and they did. And the campus started to be policed by students who roved the campus with weapons. They assaulted and battered another student.
Who's the campus safe for? For you, a white cis man?
Well, to be fair, there's an angry mob right here that's been assaulting me repeatedly.
Assault?
Assault? Yes.
You want the definition of assault? What's the definition of assault?
What is your definition? Let's hear it.
Physically harming somebody?
What's good? Does that meet the definition?
They were literally stopping traffic on a public road, searching cars, the police said, for me. So it was very strange.
And you just now getting upset? Are you for real? You should have been upset. And if you wasn't upset before and you decided all of a sudden to get live and decide to get lit, well, here's your chance.
Does anyone see that there's been privilege for white people their entire lives? Am I the only one seeing that? As said before, take a seat, okay? You're not oppressed. This is not about you.
I see a bunch of fucking people here. I will remember your faces. Don't think that I won't, because I will. And if I do not see you in actions, if I do not see you out here helping your people of color, helping your black folks, helping your trans folks, every fucking chance you got, I'm gonna talk to you, and you don't want me to talk to you. That's real talk. You do not want me to talk to you.
You know, I always wondered, like, how much of that was just like America, the life for Americans getting so good. We need a scapegoat, or else we will start to turn in on each other. And this is like a Girardian thing, or I think it's called like mimetic theory or whatever, where we need a scapegoat. And when we start to lose those, and life becomes so easy for us that society starts to cannibalize itself, similar to like what we were seeing, what you were experiencing there. And you know, I've been thinking about that ever since that theory was proposed to me. I can't unsee it, you know, with everything that happens in the world.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to it. And I will tell you, I'm essentially certain that what I was seeing were the exact dynamics that go into a witch hunt, which is what Rene Girard was really describing. The problem is the human animal gets caught up in these things, and the crowd de-individuates. You get a mob mentality in which responsibility is diffused.
Yes.
And I absolutely think, I don't know what would have happened if they had caught me riding into campus that day. I don't think they knew. I don't think they had a plan. And what happens when you stand your ground against a mob that is convinced you're a monster? And again, these were students that I didn't know. So what they had been told about the fact that I was a monster standing in the way of their well-being, I believe that they earnestly held that. And what they were capable of, I'm glad we didn't find out.
Yeah.
Good. That's both of the Weinstein brothers in the TOTP Hall of Fame. Now it's time to re-reveal our shining star of cinema's Stand By Me, Jerry Vern O'Connell.
You know, I was a kid actor in Stand By Me.
Yeah, we all know that.
You
were the fat kid.
I was husky.
No, you were the fat kid, but that's okay. It's made it stand out and made you. I mean, come on, you're always will be golden for that. Even if you didn't have anything else. I mean, look at Macaulay Culkin. He did a similar kid role. He's still iconic, you know. And
highly successful podcaster, by the way.
Right. Yes. I mean, but like, you know, you've worked every day since. I mean, he didn't, but just that one iconic kid role. And it was the best role to have, the fat kid.
It's why I'm here. I was husky. But I was getting in trouble for blurting things out, for being funny, for being a class clown, I guess they call it.
I was too.
You were too. My mother would pick me up and like yell at them and say, we're not putting him on Ritalin. And we'd get to the car and she'd go, can't you just shut up and sit on your hands? When you want to say something, you want to blurt out something, just shut up and sit on your hands. Bill, I get Stand By Me, okay? First day on set. For those who know the movie, you'll remember the scene. You won't, but we're throwing like stones in a can, and I have a very funny line where I say, this is a really good time. And it's like a touching scene, you know? Because it's like 11-year-old boys doing nothing going, this is a really good time. It's touching. The scene ends, we finish doing the lines, okay? And we're still sitting there, and Rob Reiner doesn't yell cut. And so I do something, I joke with a canteen, or I make a joke about myself. I ad-lib something at the end. It's just silence, you know?
Improv.
I improved. And Rob Reiner goes, cut! Jerry! Jerry! And he was a big dude, God rest his soul. And I was like, oh, fuck, I was supposed to shut up and sit on my, oh, fuck, I fucking did it, day one. And we're all sitting on the ground. And so he's standing over us. I'm gonna stand, sorry, camera people. And he goes, hey, Jerry, more of that. That's what I'm talking about. What he did at the end, that's it, guys. More of that. Jerry, more of that. And I gotta tell you, Bill, it changed my fucking life.
Yeah.
It changed my, I think I replay that moment. This is gonna sound obsessive. I replay that moment about 15 times a day in my head. When I'm driving, when I'm walking, when I wanna say something, because my initial reaction is shut up and sit on your hands. But no, Rob Reiner said, hey, that's it, man. And I gotta tell you, I've been, maybe you say I'm outgoing and gregarious and I work all the time. I do it because I'm dying for that moment again. I'm dying for it. I live for it.
Let your freak flag fly. Let you be you. It's a great story because it just shows, it epitomizes the conflict that goes on with so many people, but especially boys. It is a thing. I mean, men were so bad to so many women for so long, and many still are, that then we had a reckoning in 2017, and then it just became sort of toxic to just be a male. And especially boys got the backlash, like young boys got the backlash to an era that they didn't even take part in. Yeah. And so they grew up in this time where it was just, there was no allowance for this kind of male extra energy that especially boys have. Like, there's a reason why we sometimes separate boys and girls. You know, Boy Scouts now have girls in them. I think this is ridiculous. It's called the Boy Scouts.
I see it, and really, I'm sure you're the same way. The goal is to make them feel as safe as possible, especially at that precarious age. It's such a tough age.
And I'm saying it just is sometimes the case with the woke people that they are their own worst enemies with so much of this shit. You're talking about your boyfriend, Mamdani, in New York. A lot. I don't know what the tally.
My boyfriend, but
yeah, I don't know what the tally is.
Casually seeing each other.
I don't know what the tally is now, but it's in the at least high teens of homeless people who have died in the freezing because it's just not the policy of the woke to ever think that we could like forcibly get people off the street, which is what we used to think.
Right.
Old
well,
school
there were
liberals.
vagrancy laws. When I was younger, there was no vagrancy.
It was what we thought was compassionate to not be sleeping in fucking 0-degree weather on the sidewalk.
I totally hear what you're saying.
Okay.
That said, I think you're trying to inflict your ideas on a city that voted for Mamdani and voted for Karen Bass. Like, this is where we live.
I'm always trying to inflict my ideas.
I shouldn't have said inflict.
No.
Infect. Sorry.
I love that. That's
Sorry. You're the best. Hugs. Hugs, not drugs.
Let's not make it the last time.
Goodbye until next time. Keep your ears open for good conversations, and we'll do the same. Drop it in the comments section if you think we're missing anything good. As always, check out the full links in the description for anything that tickled your fancy. As Groucho Marx almost said, time flies like an arrow. Podcasts fly like a banana. Like and subscribe to make sure you catch the good ones. And don't ever slip on the skin. See you next time, pod fans.